Hello, everyone. I'm Patricia Hamzahee. I'm one of the co-founders and a director of the Windrush Caribbean Film Festival, which we started in 2020. We began the festival following an amazing success of the national tour for a film called Hero, The Extraordinary Life and Times of Red Cross. We took it around 40 venues around the country and just saw the hunger from our audiences for such an important historic story that many people didn't know, that Red Cross was one of the founding fathers of the African independence movement, and played a pivotal role as someone from the Windrush generation. Actually, he came across from Trinidad, where he was born, to Britain, and then went on to Africa. So we saw this hunger for such a positive, uplifting story. And we said, what can we do? We really need to bring these stories to a wider range of audiences and to actually satisfy the appetite from our communities when we tell these stories. So we launched the festival, the first one in 2020, in the midst of the pandemic. So the first 2 years we were virtual, but we still had a fantastic festival with great films from great filmmakers, all celebrating the legacy of the Windrush generation, what they contribute to Britain. And we hope to honor and again celebrate their presence and their contributions to this country, and through the storytelling that they gave us, as well as their descendants, many of whom are filmmakers themselves. So we felt, so since 2020, we had two editions of the festival, virtual, and then we went live, and we were in Birmingham and Wales and Scotland and several venues in London, and we've been going ever since. And last year, the theme of our festival was wonderful. It was called Transitions and Travels, and we really showcased what the diaspora journey was from the Caribbean to these shores. And I'm really delighted to say that the 2025 festival, which will be this year between the 14th to the 29th of June, again in different places around the country, our theme this year is becoming, being, and belonging. And we really want to be able to have our audience explore what it means to find place and identity and transformation within the Black, British, and Caribbean experience here in the United Kingdom, but also where many of us actually have come from different parts of the Caribbean as well. Our filmmakers, and we feature young up-and-coming filmmakers, established filmmakers, and we honor filmmakers who paved the way and may no longer be with us now, but they all tell the stories that ring true for the audiences that we're trying to reach. Really honoring the legacies of the Windrush generation, who came here at the invitation of the government of the yesterday and are looking to find their place in modern Britain. We have try to honor these through different aspects. Obviously the films, the sort of panel discussions we have, but also we have an awards ceremony at the closing of our festival, which talks to the Windrush Justice Campaign. It's named in honor of Paulette Wilson, the Windrush Justice campaigner, and we honor campaigners that are still fighting for justice and compensation still today, because that chapter, that sad chapter of our country's history is still not closed. And we also have a Menelik Shabazz Award, which honors up-and-coming British filmmakers, and that's another, working towards the next generation. We're really delighted to that, as well as the typical best film, best documentary, and best short awards. And many of our award winners have gone on to bigger and better opportunities as creative filmmakers, and we're delighted that we have been part of their journey. Because one of the overriding themes of our festival has been, when we celebrated the 75th anniversary of Windrush in 2023, to today, we talk about the journey continues. We are all on a continuing journey, as our theme this year says, of figuring out that we are looking to find our place in this country, to establish ourselves as important contributors to the life and culture and society in this country, and bring everything that we have, all of our talents, our skills, our vision, to make, you know, a really strong and vibrant community. And again, that's what we try to celebrate with the festival. Thank you.
Thanks for that introduction, Patricia. That's absolutely fantastic. So I'm Garry Stewart. I'm one of the co-founders and director of the Windrush Caribbean Film Festival. And for me, the festival is actually, you know, it's boots and braces by an organisation called WCFF, because we think it's important to get this out. And the message always comes from community. It's community-led and driven. It's serving a specific community, but it's to tell stories of a whole country. And it's not revisionist history. It's just allowing us to tell the stories that we want and need to see on the screen. The world is in a very different place as we speak right about now. And when we get to June, as a part of Windrush Day, where the festival launches, we'll be ensuring that we're telling stories that are 77 years old. It's talking about the Windrush generation, the diaspora. It's also aimed at taking away some of those myths that have been perpetuated through time. And I won't go into that now, but some of the films probably speak to that truth as well. So when we started out, as Patricia mentioned, we wanted to ensure that Caribbean stories made by Caribbean filmmakers, Black filmmakers, or people from our community who understood the community were able to share stories on film. We know the discrepancies we have when we want to see Black films on TV, or if we want to see them in the cinema on the big screen. So far, each year the festival has grown. We've been doing this for 7 years now for the WCFF, plus our year of hero. So that's 8 years. Sorry, I nearly dropped the H there, but I am Caribbean, so what do you expect? And also, one of the things that we have noticed is that, like, you know, there's a demand, a thirst for this. There's almost I would almost say, an actual right to make sure that this is actually screened. And one of the things we're looking for is to make sure our audience grows. And it's not just having about a Black or Caribbean audience, it's about people of all natures, all cultures, understanding the Windrush generation and understanding the films that people from that generation, and, you know, we're talking second, third generation from the Windrush generation, are able to share stories that resonate with the Black community. So we want everybody to be part of this festival this year. And how can you do that? Well, the only way you can be part of the festival is to actually buy tickets, get involved, go to the screenings, get involved in the panels and the shows that are additional to it as well. And also just to support us in ensuring that this message is passed out as well. There are films for all sorts, from shorts to feature films. And, you know, if you can buy a ticket, we'd really appreciate you coming on board. And just a little side note to this as well. People must remember that, like, in 3 years' time, it will be the 80th anniversary of the Windrush generation. And unfortunately, we're at a time now where we have to be honest with ourselves. There aren't many left at this moment in time, and there probably won't be then. But that doesn't mean the end of the road. It talks about legacy. We are all part of their legacy, those that came here originally. And now it's time for us to make sure that their legacy is etched, you know, in the history books. You know, we can't have this revisionist history going on. We've got to make sure that our stories are written firmly in black and white in the history books for all to see. We also want everybody to feel part of this because it's a special festival. You know, there are lots of film festivals out there, but this one is special. It speaks to us, about us, on a day that's been recommended to us as well. Thank you.